What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's another episode of Notable Prisons and the Inmates that Occupy them. First things first, go grab a lighter. Someone's about to get cooked in this episode. We're going to take a trip to CMF, California Medical Facility, which is a male-only state prison medical facility located in Vacaville in Solano County. It's older than the California State Prison Solano, the other state prison of Vacaville. CMF, just like several other prisons, they have leveled facilities including a level 1, 2, 3, and a 4. With a general acute care hospital, correctional treatment center, CTC. License, elderly care unit, inpatient and outpatient psychiatric facilities, a hospice unit for terminally ill inmates, housing and treatment for inmates identified with AIDS and HIV. General population and other special inmates housing, it is known as the California Prison System Healthcare Flagship and has many of its best clinical programs. CMF has the largest hospital among California prisons. In 2005, CMF had 506 medical staff positions, many of which were not filled, and healthcare budget of $72.3 million. As of the fiscal year of 2006 and 2007, CMF had a total of 1,853 staff, an annual budget of $180 million. As of September of 2007, it had a design capacity of 2,179, but a total population of 3,047 for occupancy of rate of 139.9%. As of April 30th, 2020, CMF was incarcerating people at 101.5% of its design capacity, with 2,396 occupants. Among other programs at CMF, the Volunteers of Vacaville began in 1960 as a cooperative effort between the community staff and inmates. Inmates who participate in the Volunteers of Vacaville's Blind Project create audiobooks, transcribe books, and debraille, clean, and repair Perkins Braille machines and resurface eyeglasses. The initial goal of this organization was to transcribe books on audio tape for the blind community outside of the prison. The Blind Project has since grown into a nationally and internationally recognized leader in blind services. In 1984, the California prison system first AIDS case was treated at CMF, and later the system's first specialized AIDS facilities were developed there. Look, if you are never mind, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. I'm sure some of you could guess where I was going to go with that, but I'm not going to because I don't want to rub anyone the wrong way. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, I'm going to say it. If you're in a men's prison, you shouldn't be doing the do with other dudes. Not because you just shouldn't because that's what you're into. You just shouldn't because it's not sanitary. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? You could catch a whole bunch of stuff in there, I would imagine. But, hey, what do I know? To each its own. I guess every prison has a little Palm Springs, San Francisco vibe in it. In the late 1980s and the early 1990s, the quality of medical care at CMF was found to be lacking, as evidenced by the following. After an investigation, the United States Department of Justice sent a January 1987 letter to the governor, George Dukmeehan, stating that CMF deprives inmates of their right to be free from deliberate indifferences to their serious medical needs. In 1992, the two top HIV specialists at the prison resigned, frustrated by limited resources and what they describe as institutionalized apathy towards AIDS among inmates. The California State Assembly's Public Safety Committee wrote a 1992 report criticizing the care of inmates with HIV or disabilities at CMF. By January 1993, CMF had embarked on a $5.8 million plan to improve the care of AIDS patients, including a renovating housing unit, a hospice, and enlarged staff, and to hear complaints and warmer clothes and nutritional supplements and sensitivity training for the guards. Let me just clarify. Yeah, sure, a person could have the virus, right, when they go in there. Okay, obviously, sure, they need treatment. But I'm just saying, if you don't have it and you're into men, I just don't think it's worth the risk. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth the risk. Because my common knowledge, thanks to the media, is that it's, they say it's easier to spread like that. So, I don't know. I just want everyone to live long. In 1996, at CMF, a 17-bed state-licensed hospice began caring for dying inmates, which was the first hospice among California prisons due to an increasing population of elderly at CMF. A nursing home with 21 beds opened in September 2005 as a pilot program. So, the moment you have been waiting for. The notable inmates. But first, let me give a shout out to the to the person who viewed this channel, who recommended this, which is Hannah Bear. Thank you, Hannah Bear. Y'all go show her some love. Steve Allen Abrams. He perpetrator of the Costa Mesa school car attack. Bobby Basolil, serving a life sentence, denied parole multiple times, an associate of the Manson family, who was convicted of 1969 murder of Gary Hinman. Man, he's been in there since before we had sliced bread. Edmund Kemper, serving a life sentence, convicted of murdering 8 people, including his own mother, in the early 1970s. It's an evil, evil person right there, people. Next, we have Juan Corona, serial killer. Spent part of his time after his first 1973 conviction at CMF. Richard Allen Davis, career criminal and murderer of the Pauley class, was at CMF twice in 1974 after being arrested for burglary. He was sent to CMF for a 90-day diagnostic study. He was also sentenced to spend 6 years in CMF for separate burglary beginning August 1975, but was paroled a year later. Donald DeFreeze, leader of the Symbionese Liberation Army. He was incarcerated at CMF from 1969 until he was transferred to Soledad in 1972. Next, we have Jim B. Gordon, musician, member of Derek and the Dominoes, murdered his mother in 1983. Jim died in March of 2023. Next we have a very infamous person when it comes to Los Angeles. Eric Ronald Shitty Cuz Holder Jr. was sentenced in July 22 to, get this, at least 60 years in prison. That had to have been a message. Rolling 60s, 60 years. Like, if you know, you know. If you don't worry about it. In prison for the killing of one of the most influential rappers out of California in the last 10 years. The one and only Nip the Crip Hussle. If y'all don't know who Nipsey Hussle is, pause this, go listen to some of his music. He set it up to where all the proceeds goes to his family. So, yeah. And he was a good dude. He took care of the kids and all this other good stuff. There was no smut on his name or nothing. But on March 31st, 2019, and it was a trip, on that day, I was coming back from Vegas. And I went on my phone and I seen that someone had killed him. And I went into the alien jerky place. And I started telling people, Nipsey Hussle died. People were like, yeah, right, bro. Shut up. Why are you playing about that? And, yeah. Holder approached Hussle in a parking lot near a Marathon clothing store in South Los Angeles. After a brief conversation, Holder left, but returned minutes later with 2 handguns, opening fire and killing Hussle and injuring 2 others. Holder fled the scene, but was later captured attempting to check into a mental health facility. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation set a November 2039 parole date for Holder. Yeah, well, R.I.P. Nip the Crip. Next, we have Timothy Leary, psychologist, served time at CMF in 1973 and through 1974, possession of marijuana and escape from a minimum security prison at San Luis Obispo, California, men's colony. Charles Manson. Y'all know who Charles Manson is. He died in 2017. No need for me to sit here and talk about the guy. Dan Montecalvo murdered his wife in 1988. He died in 2013. Roy Norris, serial killer, one of the 2 toolbox killers, died at CMF in 2020, a week after his transfer. Kenneth Parnell, convicted of the 1972 kidnapping of 7-year-old Stephen Slainer, died there in 2008. Edgar H. Smith, murderer who was convinced William F. Buckley into championing his cause, was incarcerated at CMF for the last few years of his life, and he croaked in 2017. Theodore Streletsky, murderer, was released unconditionally from CMF in 1985 after 7 years and 20 days there. Brendan Thomer, he was a serial killer. Aaron Walker, World War II veteran, convicted of murder and several shootouts. He was paroled in 1974. Next, we have Carl Werner. He was a serial killer. And next, we have Theroux Wheeler, a member of the SLA, and he escaped in 1973. You know the vibes. We made it this far. That's the point where I got to say I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays. Let me know something in the comments. And, you could keep it player and subscribe if you like. Thank y'all. Later. By the way, that was my daughter in the background. She knows I'm over here working, and she has to come out here and tell me to turn the TV up because she wants to watch Roblox and this, that, and the third. No. You've been home all day watching Roblox. I was at work, came home, and decided to do this. So let me have my creative time, and then you can watch Roblox. Thanks for watching, everyone.